Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Board of Education meeting for September 2016. The first one of the year is always very eventful, and I'm glad to see those of you who have come out to join us tonight. Pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10-4-10, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by advertising such notice in the Home News Tribune, Asbury Park Press, the Board Office, the schools, at Cablevision, Channel 118, Verizon Fios, Channel 24, and by filing such notice with the Township Clerk. Meeting was scheduled for Tuesday, September 20th, 2016, and the Board will take formal action on payment of bills and other agenda items. Mr. Mara?
The Old Bridge Township Board of Education acknowledges that the law of this state establishes that members of the public, including members of the board, have the right to record public board meetings using audio or video recording devices, provided that that act of recording does not interfere with the business of this public board meeting. Therefore, the board makes it known that any such recording is to be considered a private recording of the individual and in no manner represents the official record of this board. The board therefore takes no responsibility for such private recording and completely disavows any future use.
Thank you, Mr. Mara. Roll call.
Dinoff?
Present.
Dunn?
Here.
Hopman?
Here.
DePrima?
Here.
Ellis Foster?
Here.
Callie?
Here.
Singh?
Here.
Weber? Andriani?
Present.
Quorum exists.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the
Flag.
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Are we memorial?
Yes.
Unfortunately, at this time, every once in a while at meetings, we do have to have a little moment of silence, and tonight we are acknowledging the passing of Mary Kurtz, an elementary teacher, and would like to express our deepest sympathy to her family, friends, and colleagues. Thank you. All righty. Code of Ethics. Mr. Dunn, I believe you volunteered to read that?
Yes, I did. Support and protect school personnel in proper performance of their duties.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mara, moving forward, can we get the new board goals on?
It's on the back.
Oh, it's on the back page? Okay, thank you. All right, approval of minutes at this point. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Ms. Callie.
Dinoff will second.
Thank you, Mr. Dinoff. Any discussion, questions about the minutes? All right, Mr. Mara, roll call.
Dunn?
Yes.
Dinoff?
Yes.
Hopman?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Callie?
Yes.
Singh?
Yes.
Andriani?
Yes.
Resolution 1 passes.
Thank you very much. This is always our favorite time of the meeting, either recognition or speaking to one of our student representatives. Courtney Brennan is our president of our Student Senate, and she will be spending the year with us, I hope. Yes? All right, Ms. Courtney, take it away.
So activities have, So activities have been posted on the website and announcements in the cafeteria, Facebook, and on the Old Bridge High School activities website, which is on Twitter. There will be a Senate meeting on October 13th. There's going to be an interest meeting for the freshmen after school the week before. And there's also going to be the start of a freshman Senate as well as a regular Senate, so there's more representatives in the GNC. There was a club fair held on the 14th, and over 400 students came out, which was awesome. The clubs have actually started this week, so that's all up and running, and tailgate is on Friday. It's going to be a blackout in school as well as at the football game. And this weekend is the peer retreat, which will be a lot of fun for the classes. And then money has been coming in for the Disney trip, and the dinner cruise is on October 7th. And there will be an open house for the main building on September 27th and the GNC on September 29th. And that's it.
Busy schedule. Thank you. Thank you. Recognition, I know we have at least one. Mr. Cittadino?
Yes, we do. I'm going to ask our Director of Technology, Ms. Roseanne Moran, to go to the dais, and she'll be recognizing one of our residents, Mr. Yip, who helped us with a very handsome and healthy donation to our technology department.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Dinoff is joining me because he is chairperson of the Board Technology Committee, and we are here to recognize the efforts of Mr. Chi Yip, who is a parent of a Miller School student. You know, very often we get phone calls and people say, well, I want to donate a computer. I used it in my house and I don't need it anymore. I'm getting a new one. And they don't realize that when we add equipment to our network, it has to meet a certain standard. So we really, it's not that we're not grateful, it's just the fact that we need enterprise editions of equipment. So Mr. Yip called my office, I want to say maybe in May or April, and said, hey, I have a friend that works for the Social Security Administration and we can get you some computers. So I'm thinking, well, I don't know what this is going to be, but come to make the connection with Mr. Stephen Lee of the Social Security Administration in Manhattan, we found out that they are recent model HP computers very similar to what we're already using in our schools, as the Social Security Administration refreshes their computers every 2 to 3 years. So with the help of Mr. Frank Fazita, Director of Plant Service, Mr. Kevin Canton, our supervisors of custodians, 4 of our field maintenance men went into Manhattan in July, Tom Toth, Al Hermans, Jerome Brandt, and Kevin Novak, and they brought back 82 computer units. The worth is probably close to $22,000. So it was a substantial savings for us in the district. The Social Security Administration wiped them totally clean. So now I was very, very grateful to Mr. Paulin Georges, our senior network technician, who, with our technicians, have taken up the task to get them ready for our students. We've already put some in place at Sandburg School where they were desperately needed, and we will be spreading the rest around through the district. So Mr. Yip, if you'd please come up now, we'd like to give you a certificate of recognition.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We got to take a picture. Thank you.
It was my pleasure.
Do you have, you want anything, you want to say anything?
Well, the only thing I want to say is it was my pleasure and honor to help our town because, you know, my daughter is part of this community, and me and my wife, we always want to help whenever we can. So, and I am a network engineer, so I know how important it is to have the right equipment for the right job. So, thank you.
Mr. Yip, I'm moving. I want to say thank you and how much we appreciate it. Mr. Cittadino, who represents the district, and myself, speaking for the board at this moment, we keep talking about community ties and how we should really try and work together and help each other out. And that was a very, very altruistic and wonderful thing that you did for us. So thank you very much for that donation. Okay. I'd like to make a motion. Can I do that myself? Am I allowed? All right, I'll make a motion and move to recognize Mr. Yip for his wonderful donation. I need a second.
Dinoff will second.
Thank you, Mr. Dinoff. Any discussion? Mr. Mara?
Dinoff,
Yes.
Hopman,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Callie,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Andriani.
Yes.
Resolution 1 passes.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Cittadino?
Thank you. I have just a few items under Superintendent's report and a few items during progress towards goals. In the miscellaneous portion of your agenda, on item number 8, I know a few board members reached out to me. It's the first time we've seen this type of item here, and I just want to clarify for you what it is. It's listed as approving a Southwoods School Safety Plan. Quite a few years back, the state of New Jersey initiated the EVVRS system, which tracks violence and vandalism within schools. As we've known from my biannual reports, the district is down quite considerably of where we were many years back. We're at our highest point, we're in the areas of 180, 160 incidents of violence and vandalism district-wide. Right now, we're trending around 70 to 68 per year. And the intentions of this act by the Department of Education, I think, was good. You know, I've often talked about my times coming from an urban school district, and where violence was prevalent, and parents needed an opportunity to take their children and put them in places where they can learn and feel safe. However, when drawing up these plans, they don't take everything into account in the different types of students we have, the different types of schools. So, in a school like Southwood, where we have various special needs programming for different types of learners and different types of classifications, we do so because we want to provide the student the least restrictive environment. And in those environments, you may have students who are identified as emotionally disturbed or having other disabilities which may cause them to act out, to strike others or even strike themselves. And our paraprofessionals and our staff, always looking out for the student's safety, will intervene at those times. And in doing those interventions with some of our students who do act it out in that way, they themselves put themselves in harm's way. And that's what gets reported here. And so the state is recognizing that has happened more significantly in the past year than in years past, and it may be because of the increased numbering of students we have in our special needs programs in that school. So what this really is requiring us to do is to have a safety plan in place where we're going to do increased professional development for our staff and our paraprofessionals, to bring our behaviorist in, to offer specialized training in this area, and to really revisit the definitions and the reporting mechanisms of the EVVRS system. Again, so we can still continue to provide our students with the least restrictive environment, but protect our staffs as well. Southwood School is a gem of a school, and it is that because we have students of varying needs, and all being educated under the same roof. So that is basically what you see before you tonight.
Okay, Mr. C. Thank you.
On the progress towards goals,
Okay, moving along.
I'm very happy that the board is adopting new goals tonight, so we see a continuation and the support of our ESIP program. Year 2 of our 2-year goal to provide increased student programming and varying student programs. As you know, this year we'll open up the transition program at our ShopRite here in school. We are having some of our students who are taking place in a blended learning environment in our schools, within the high schools and middle schools, where they're taking online coursework as part of the component of being in class. And also, we're having an expansion of our basic skills, I'm sorry, that was going backwards in time, our RTI program at our middle school level. That is all part of our goals going forward, and the expansion of our strategic plan. We'll be vetting through the process of getting an agency to come in and assist us with our strategic plan. When we do so, we're going to need the input of everyone from the community, our teachers, our paraprofessionals, everyone who works for Old Bridge Township Schools, our parents, our students, past and present. our community members, the mayor's office, council, board members, people who live in the community who don't have any children in the school. We want everyone's input, so when we're planning for 2021 and beyond, we really have a direction of the entire community as we go forward with our schools and really get everyone's input. So that's the bigger part of it. Another initiative that we're looking to do is create revenue sources. And, these types of working with local community members like Mr. Yip and bringing in products, and so we don't have to go out and purchase computers, so we can bring in computers and hardware from other locations really is an asset. And like Ms. Moran says, approximately $22,000 right there. Something we're going to do this year for the first time is in partnership with the Township Cultural Committee. We're going to have an Old Bridge Day, a World Fest Day on October 14th, 15th, and 16th. It'll be an opportunity to celebrate the cultures of Old Bridge, our arts, our foods, and just the ability to come together as a family and enjoy each other's company. There'll be rides and events for the kids. And as I've explained to you, it was very well received by the local PTAs, who will receive a portion of the funds for volunteering for that events. And the balance of the funds generated by this Board of Education will be placed towards student instructional programs to actually help students in the classroom, provide them with the resources they need pre-K to 12. So again, everyone will have a piece of the revenue that comes in for this, and at the end of the day, all of that revenue goes back to our students, something we'll be very proud of. So that'll, again, take place on Old Bridge High School campus on October 14th, 15th, and 16th. Old Bridge Day is a great resource for our community. That takes place this Saturday, September 24th, from 12 to 5 at the Municipal Center. I look forward to seeing everyone there. I know the Township, the Board of Education will have a tent set up to be a resource for our community. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, any correspondence? Okay, I have one, and I apologize for looking at my phone, but I have it synced to my email, and it just will not load. So just so that the board is aware, and the general community, I did promise the gentleman who had sent the letter that I would pass along this information. There was a parent of a graduate from one of the middle schools who was very upset that not everybody had their hand over their heart during the Star-Spangled Banner. It was not about the Pledge of Allegiance, it was about the Star-Spangled Banner. The gentleman was very upset that, in his opinion, felt that it was a sign of disrespect. And he wanted me to make sure that the board understood that he had sent this letter to tell everybody that we should be more cognizant of the way we present ourselves during the national anthem. In my response to him, I told him I appreciated his letter, his correspondence, and I told him that had I been there, he would have been angry with me too, because I had been taught always to stand at attention. So this is a very sensitive issue that many people feel the hand should be over the heart. Many people feel standing at attention. This has nothing to do with sports or any kind of protest or anything else. It was just specifically about the hand over the heart during the Star-Spangled Banner. The gentleman sent me a link. I shared it with some of the board members. We looked it over. If anybody's interested to find out the proper protocol, I would suggest that you look that up, because I have not found that to be official, but I said I would pass that along. With that, moving along.
Mrs. Adriani, can I just ask, what event was this at? Was it?
It was at the Sandberg graduation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, special committee reports. Mr. DePrimo, do you want to go first?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I had a Athletics, Food Service, Medical Service Committee meeting on last Monday, September 12th. If you've never been to one of these meetings, they're usually very lively and interesting, and it went on for about 2 hours of discussion, but I condensed it into like 3 minutes of a synopsis here. Okay, lead nurse Audrey Baker. Audrey Baker presented a summary of selected school health mandates and resources. Topics covered included meningitis, human I don't know how to say that. Papillomavirus, I'm not sure, forgive me. HPV, that's good, there you go. Sports-related concussions, asthma, bloodborne pathogens, epinephrine, immunizations, Janet's Law, which is a defibrillator law, medical marijuana, New Jersey Family Care, scholastic student-athlete safety, school physician, school-related eye injuries, sudden cardiac death, and tuberculosis. She had a very intense handout on all these topics. I said epinephrine, yeah. Discussion followed regarding head lice policy. Students will not be sent home for NITs, only for actual head lice, and families will not be notified, excuse me, unless it affects 20% or more of the class. Students who can self-carry an EpiPen can also self-administer. After this year's free supply of EpiPens is depleted, we would do a cost study due to the recent price hike. Narcan is also coming to schools, and 5 people will be trained in each building in the use of AEDs. Staff will continue to be trained in EpiPen administration and CPR. Next up was the General Manager of Food Services, Michelle Feliciano. Michelle announced the hiring of a new chef supervisor who will oversee training, action stations, and catering. Upcoming promotions include Vote and Be Heard, serving up smiles, and taste testing at all levels. Michelle also announced new menu items, poutines at the high school, wedge pizza at the middle school, and extras with lunch. A concern was brought up about the price of water and why it can't be given in place of milk. Milk is one of 5 components out of 3 available for lunch, as is juice. Water is not. We do offer smaller bottles of water for a lesser cost. And Michelle will also address the issue of milk automatically being placed on students' trays. It is not supposed to be due to school allergies. And the high school PTSA will look into online serve-safe training to have additional members certified so they could work in the concession stand. On to athletics. Our athletic director, Robert Erickson, reported that all fall sports are off to a good start and that all coaches are trained in heat acclimation. As he originally asked at the August Board of Ed meeting, Mr. Erickson asked that we consider naming the Lombardi Fieldhouse after recently retired coach Gebauer. It was a unanimous decision of this committee to proceed with this request. Mr. Erickson also requested that the board address the need for a new or updated fieldhouse. Although after discussion it was agreed that it was time, it was suggested that he bring the request to the long-range planning and/or buildings and grounds committees. A question was asked about the condition of the safety of girls' field hockey uniforms and goalie equipment. A jersey was presented that appeared to have mold stains on it. Mr. Erickson explained that he recently ordered 2 sets of goalie equipment and was at a loss at how they could already be unsafe. He also expressed concern on how uniforms may be stored in the off-season, which may be leading to premature wear. By the next morning, Mr. Erickson responded to these concerns, stating that due to the unprecedented amount of freshman goalies, 6, the unsafe equipment questioned is older, handed-down equipment, and he has already contacted vendors for strap replacement prices. We do, however, have 3 sets of safe goalie equipment. As for the mold stain, a new storage and laundering process are already in place. Thank you.
Anyone, Annette? Ms. Hartman?
I just wanted to bring up that several summer curriculum writing projects were completed this summer. In July, teams of math teachers led by Dr. Ferrara engaged in the rewriting and sequencing of the K-12 math curriculum. One of the primary purposes of this project was to more clearly define the scope and sequence of pacing guides in order to keep teachers aligned in their instruction, as well as to comply with the state mandate to base the curriculum on the newly released New Jersey Student Learning Standards. The NJSLS will replace the Common Core Curriculum Standards. On July 11th, 12th, and 13th, 9 middle school science teachers led by Dr. Cascone developed 3 digital resource modules to accompany the first 3 units of the newly revised Next Generation Science Standards curriculum. The modules contain digital content for students as well as instructional resources for teachers, such as sample activities, labs, and interactive PowerPoints. The modules were built and stored in the cloud in Microsoft 365 OneDrive. The resources were shared with all middle school science teachers in August and are now being used in the middle school science classrooms. 2 instructional technology pilots were planned during the summer and are now in the early stages of implementation. Notebowl Learning Management System and My Access Elementary Writing Pilot. Notebowl is being piloted by 8 high school and middle school teachers in various departments. The program is being explored for potential larger-scale use in the district. My Access is being implemented on the 4th and 5th grade levels at Cooper and Madison Park School. The Board of Education Curriculum and Performing Arts Committee will meet next Monday, September 26th at 7 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hartman. Anyone else? No, not at this time. All righty. Facilities use? I don't believe we're moving anything, even though it says that. Okay, hearing of residents on agenda items only. If there's anyone at this time that wishes to discuss or question anything that we have listed? Okay. Policy? We have presentations for first reading. Anybody have any questions? Discussions? Okay. All right, curriculum, 1 through 7. I need a motion.
Dunn will make a motion, curriculum, professional development, items 1 through 7.
Thank you.
Hartman will second.
Thank you. Discussion, questions, anyone? Okay, Mr. Mara.
Hopman,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Callie,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Dinoff,
Yes.
Andriani.
Yes,
Resolutions 1 through 7 pass.
thank you. Athletics, only one resolution. I need a motion.
Dinoff will move athletics, item number 1.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dinoff.
Callie will second.
Thank you, Ms. Callie. Any questions, discussion? Mr. Mara?
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Callie,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Dinoff,
Yes.
Hopman,
Yes.
Andriani.
Yes,
Resolution 1 passes.
thank you. 1 through 12 on finance. Need a motion?
Hartman will move
Thank you.
Finance 1 through 12.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hartman. I need a second.
Single second.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Any questions, discussion? Seeing no hands, Mr. Mara, roll call.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Callie,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Dinoff,
Abstain on item number 9, yes on the remainder.
abstain on number 9, I'm sorry.
Correct.
Hopman,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Andriani.
Yes,
Resolutions 1 through 12 pass.
thank you. All right, Roman numeral 21, non-certificated personnel office, 1, 2, and 3. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Ms. Cowie.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Questions? Mr. Mara, roll call.
Callie,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Dinoff,
Yes.
Hopman,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Andriani.
Yes,
Resolutions 1 through 3 pass.
thank you. All righty. This
Oh,
one's a
there it is.
long one. 1 through 17, non-certificated personnel, other.
Dunn will move non-certificated personnel, other, items 1 through 17.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Would
I will
somebody
second.
be kind enough to second? Ms.
I shall.
Ellis Foster?
I will second, thank you.
Okay. Now, every time Mr. Mara says Kelly, he's saying Callie, and I'm thinking that he's... Okay. All right, but we do have a second. It's Ms. Ellis Foster. Any questions, discussion? If not, Mr. Mara?
On item number 1, yes, I alluded to this last week, but just to ask for the future, when we have a settlement like this that doesn't necessarily have the total amount, just to make it easier for the board members, because I don't necessarily know what 1 day's pay or 1 week's pay for an individual is, so if we can just include a memo with the total amount, I think it'll be helpful for the board going forward. Thank you.
It's just for us.
Yeah, it would have to just be for the board, but I believe the agreement itself was included
Did that not
It was, but it
specify
doesn't
the
include the exact
total?
amount, no.
All right. Very good comment, Mr. Dinoff. Thank you. Okay. I think we're ready for a roll call.
Singh,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Dinoff,
Yes.
Hopman,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Callie,
I'm abstaining on 7B and 8C, otherwise, yes.
Andriani.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 17 pass.
Okay, certificated personnel, which is 1 through 21. And I need a motion from someone.
Dunn will move certificated personnel items 1 through 21.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hartman. We do have a retirement listed on here. It was a surprise to me, as I'm sure it was to others. Mr. Erickson is our current athletic director. He has been in that position 8 years, maybe? About 8 years. Prior to that, he was a vice principal at Sandburg, and he has a total of 30 years' service in the district. He will be missed. It's a very difficult position, and he will have some big shoes to fill. His effective date is 11/1. I'm not quite sure if we'll get a chance to see him at the October meeting, so I would be remiss if I did not mention it at this meeting. So, Mr. Erickson, if you're watching, or if you're not, somebody tell him that at least we recognized his accomplishments and his wonderful 30 years of service. Thank you.
Madam President, can I just add something to that?
Be my guest.
As Andriani said, I don't know, if Rob, if you're watching, but for those of you who don't know, before I sat up here, I was the PTSA Vice President of Athletics for 7 years, and I got to know Rob really well. We worked very closely together, and I just want to say good luck to you. We've become friends. We root for the same teams. You're a good guy, and I thank you for everything you've done, and you will be missed.
Dunn,
Yes.
Dinoff,
Yes.
Hopman,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Callie,
I'm abstaining on 19C, but otherwise, yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Andriani.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 21 pass.
Non-certificated personnel transportation, which is 1 and 2. No, 1? Just 1?
Just one.
Just 1.
I will move it.
Thank you.
Dinoff will second.
Thank you. Any discussion? No, Mr. Mara?
Dinoff,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Hopman,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Callie,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Andriani.
Yes.
Resolution 1 passes.
Thank you. 1 and 2 on supplies, equipment, and services. A motion is needed.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you very much, Ms. Callie. I need a second.
Dunn will second.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Any questions? Okay, Mr. Mara.
Dinoff,
Yes.
Hopman,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Callie,
Yes.
Singh, Dunn,
We lost them.
Yes.
Andriani.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 and 2 pass.
Ms. Walsh, if you are around, we lost our...
They're back.
On the back.
On
And
and
the
on.
back. Okay.
Line's good.
We lost our vocals there for a minute. I don't think anybody was going to sing. We're back. We're good. All right, transportation 1 through 7. Basically, these are routes, fees.
Dunn will move transportation items 1 through 7, Madam President.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Hopman. Any discussion? No. Okay.
Hopman,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Callie,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Dinoff,
Yes.
Andriani.
I need a number. Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 7 pass.
We're at 9,000. I would just like to make mention, while we're talking about transportation, is that it's like when you see a band marching and you have 100 band members and 99 of them are in step and one is not, you notice the one that is not. When it comes to busing and transportation in this district, not only do we use our own buses, but we have to subcontract out. And usually, what anybody ever hears or sees is when there's a glitch. We transport over 9,000 students every day, twice a day. And we do a pretty good job. We had a few glitches at the beginning of the year, which, you know, if you were affected, you certainly understand that. But I'm sure that if we did the numbers, we're looking at 98, 99% of beautiful, smooth-running buses each and every day. So thank you very much to the Transportation Department. They're unsung heroes. Nobody ever really talks about them, so. All right, miscellaneous, 1 through 8. 1 through 8.
I'll move.
Thank you, Mr. DePrima.
That's a first.
Callie will second.
Thank you, Ms. Cowley. Do we have any discussion, questions? Mr. Mara, roll call?
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Callie,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Dinoff,
Yes.
Hopman,
Yes.
Andriani.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 8 pass.
All right, thank you. Underneath Roman numeral 29, under Board Secretary and Board Business, we now have our new goals. There are quite a few different types of goals that we address each and every year. We have district goals and we have board goals. And I think it would be important that I read them aloud. We need to approve them tonight, and from this point on, they will be in the board agenda someplace so that we can reflect on them and refer back to them as we go through the school year. District goals for 2016. One is to develop a community input-driven strategic plan which engages community members to identify future district needs relating to our growing diverse population. We've already moved on that in terms of planning, so be on the lookout for public service announcements because we will try to engage as many community members in that process as possible. We will continue to increase learning opportunities or programs to multiple subgroups prevalent in our diverse school district. This is a continuing goal. The third one is continue our infrastructure improvements as prescribed by our energy savings and improvement plan. It's one of the many lettered things that you see all the time, this ESIP. Board goals, committee chairs will prepare and deliver a 5-minute report at the public monthly board meetings on their committee activities and develop an evaluation calendar for 2016, which incorporates the statutory requirements along with recommendations provided by the New Jersey School Boards Association. So with that, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay, Ms. Cowley, Ms. Ellis Foster. Any questions, discussion? Okay, Mr. Mara.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Callie,
Yes.
Singh, Dunn,
Yes.
Dinoff,
Yes.
Hopman,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Andriani.
Yes.
Resolution 1 passes.
Thank you. Okay, at this point in time, hearing of residents on any item. No, ma'am.
Okay, this is my 3rd year here.
Go to the microphone.
It's not necessarily for us, but for the TV viewing audience, we need you to have, come on. Now you have to press the button.
This is my 3rd year here.
Okay.
I am desperately trying on the behalf of myself and my neighbors on Wesley Road to get bus service. Mrs. Cittadino, I know we've talked about this. I'm here to stress the dangers of that street, the problems we've had criminally on that street, and to ask 30 children to walk up to a corner where there was a car accident between a bus and a car at that very bus stop. It just seems very unfair, and I need to know, if nobody could fix it in here, where do we go from here?
Wesley Road is off Ticetown, and I've been to the road twice, gone up and down. I've discussed it with Denise. One of the suggestions was to have a smaller vehicle, a van, go and with permission from the appropriate house owner to go into the driveway to turn around. Unfortunately, this year, in talking to Denise, because of the number of needs we have for the van, we don't have vans available to do that run. Smaller van, all we have is the regular bus, and the bus would not be able to navigate a turnaround inside someone's circular driveway. The end of the road does not have a standard, I don't even think it's fully paved at the end of it. It's not. Right. It's an
It's a fire easement that fire trucks turn around in, UPS trucks turn around in, FedEx, very large vehicles turn around in there. There's no reason a small bus can't. And the fact that you say there's no small bus, the high school students on the street are getting picked up by a small bus. They're just refusing to turn down the street.
A small bus may be used for the particular needs of the student, whatever, it might be in an IEP, might be something different. From my understanding from talking to Denise, we do not have a small bus for a regular run that can go down that street. I could check with her again to see if anything's changed. We are looking to appropriate some more buses and vans, but at that moment, we do not have any. And I would, again, as I talked about in the past, I would need something in writing that our attorney would look through that allowing
Clearly,
us
I've
the
offered
permission
up my
to
driveway every
turn
year.
through.
On top of that, though, I think this is something that has to be dealt with quickly, because since 30 children are walking, or not walking, being driven up by their parents, there is a safety issue at the top of the street with kids coming in between cars double parking. It's only a matter of time before someone's going to get hurt. And it's not just one parent who doesn't want their child to walk up. It's all 27 kids get brought up to the corner because they don't want their kids walking with the circumstances of the street.
Mr. Cittadino? I'm very aware of the situation on Wesley
Yes.
Road, and this wonderful parent has been to the committee on different occasions. And there is an option, yes, there is a fire road that is at the end of Wesley Road. We do turn around fire apparatus without backing them up down that area. However, I'm not sure who owns that fire road. What I may do is I'll try to inquire with the town to see if that is a right-of-way. And then if it is, there can be some slight improvements made so that buses can make a circle and out. Now, I'm not sure if that is feasible or not, but it is a possibility which we could discuss. And of course, we will have to bring Denise Capasso into the discussion to see if that is an alternative. We do have a transportation, buildings, grounds, and transportation meeting tomorrow night.
Okay.
And I will amend our agenda to include this
Thank you.
discussion. And I'll reach out to the appropriate parties within the township to see exactly what that road is for and how can we make any kind of slight improvements that will permit, because the state requires us and does not allow us to back buses up. That is the whole problem. School buses in New Jersey cannot back up. So when there is no place for a bus to turn around safely, then it's against the law. So with this, with the fire break, the fire road, the fire egress that's at the rear Wesley, that may be an alternative, and we'll look at it and see if that's a possibility.
Are you speaking in terms of putting a large bus down to that easement?
Well, I know that a large bus would not fit down
Would
that
not.
easement. I know that our ladder truck, the South Oldbridge Fire Department, cannot get down that road, but a
Yes.
small pumper can, and we've made turns down there. Now, we do have a half-size bus number 23, which is half of a 54-passenger bus.
Okay.
That bus can definitely make a U-turn in that gravel area. However, that needs to be discussed with Ms. Capasso and see if anything can be done to enlarge it a little bit so it can safely navigate that area. And that's something which we'll discuss tomorrow night. She will be at the meeting, so if you can kindly join us tomorrow night.
Yes,
We
what
will
time?
discuss this again at 7 o'clock, 7:15, that general time frame would work out. And we'll get to the bottom of this, and I'll ask some questions with the township tomorrow and see exactly if that road can be altered a little bit to meet the accommodation. Because yes, 30 children who have to navigate Wesley Road, which is probably a mile, mile and a half deep, is a little problematic. But again, the Board of Education does have specific guidelines we must follow, and we cannot break them because then we'll be penalized and be held accountable if anything happens. So you have to understand our position. But we will discuss this tomorrow, and we'll get some answers to see if that is a feasible alternative.
And if not, can we get some assurance that it will be looked into for a smaller bus? Because historically, we had smaller buses. My oldest son is 25. He was bused down the street. It just stopped maybe 5 years ago. And so we would like to see if there could be another bus brought down there before somebody gets hurt.
Well, I'm sure that Denise can answer those questions
Yeah.
tomorrow night, and Superintendent Sedino will also bring that to our attention tomorrow morning to be prepared, and hopefully we can find some sort of accommodation.
Thank you.
And hopefully that road does work, where we can make it a safe turnaround area.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Old business? Mr. Mara?
Yes, if you recall, 2 years ago, we received notification that we were getting a grant from the state to redo the roof at Salk School. And we did the roof in Salk School 2 years ago. It cost us approximately $540,000. And in the past 30 days, we received the state portion of that project of $208,000. So it took 2 years to get the money, but we finally got the money from the state.
That's also very good news. Okay. Anyone else? Old business? New business? Okay. This brings us to the end of our meeting, our first meeting of the year. We do need a motion to go into closed session. It has to do with,
personnel items, specifically the superintendent's evaluation conference.
okay. All right, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Ms. Callie.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Callie?
Yes.
Singh? Dunn? Dinoff? Hopman? DePrima? Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Andriani?
Yes,
The motion to go into closed session
thank you.
passes.
And we will return, but only to adjourn officially. So thank you, everybody, for coming out. Can they stay?
What's that?